No, I wanted to use thank you, Jesse. And I wanted to use testimony time to inform you about some changes that are happening in my life and in my work um, that are going to impact my role as the associate pastor here at CrossRoads for at least the foreseeable several months. Um, I've known that some changes were coming for probably 2 years. But the planning for the changes and all that's been pretty slow and deliberate, which has ended up resulting in good results. But um, we're changing a lot of the management training that we're doing for our managers. And we're doing it right now just with our truck wash locations, but we will have car wash in the hotel at a later date. But we have about 120 truck wash locations. So we have 120 general managers. And then most of those truck washes have 2 assistant or what we call operations managers. So that's a little over 300 managers. And we've made the decision to bring all those in small groups. So every day, we'll have 3 different groups here at a time, but we'll start out with one on Monday, then the next group arrives on Monday, and then, so every day we have training going on. And our management training has been pretty heavy in the past on legal issues. And we've decided that was good training, but really what keeps you out of legal trouble and also keeps your business strong is how you treat people. How do you make an already good workplace even better? So people look forward to coming to work. They look forward to seeing the people they work with. I don't know how many of you have that at your workplace now, but it is a blessing when you do have it. I do, and I'm very thankful for that. But that left me really with a choice. It means I may have to travel more. We still don't know how much technology we'll use with this. Right now, we know we're bringing people to Salina, but it may require going out to the locations across the United States. And so don't really know what my schedule will be. It has required several evenings and will continue to do so. So it makes my ability to attend on Sundays a little more erratic and unknown. So I had thought about what should I do with this. And I'll be honest, seriously considered just retiring and spending more time here because ultimately that is my goal, is to spend more time in ministry. But put that to prayer. And I'm not really one to ask for signs. Not that I think that's wrong, but I also know myself well enough that if I want to do something, I can often interpret things to be signs. Yep, I need to do what I want to do, rather than this is actually what God's telling me what to do. So, but I did pray, God, make this clear, because I am going to be even if I stayed, I am getting close to the end of my career at Blue Beacon, and whenever I leave, it's not like the company's going to die without me. That's for sure. They'll go right on. So I prayed a lot about just make it clear. And I've been talking to Jesse about this for 2 years. I'm sure he's thinking, is this really going to happen, or is this some delusion that he has? After I prayed, I did get some indications and of what I ought to be doing. Give you an example. There was a day 3 weeks ago now that I was saying, Lord, you really want to know, which way should I go? And I got a call from a guy who had some special circumstances, and helped him go through a process where we reviewed his history and those circumstances, and he got a job. And this is in a different city, and this was probably 6 to 7 months ago. And people oftentimes say, hey, thank you for your help getting me through this process, because it is extensive. It's an extensive review. We want to make sure that if somebody's done things in the past they shouldn't have done, that their life has changed. And we're very open to redemption, but we want to be clear and be sure. And everything I asked this guy, he gave me the right answers on. Didn't deny anything. In fact, told me details that I wouldn't have known without him being so open and honest about it. Said he'd found Christ in prison. He had, just everything came together. And so we're able to kind of move him through, and he got hired. Well, 6 months go by, and I get this phone call, and he says, hey, the Lord has been telling me to call you and just tell you thank you for doing this for me. I really love my job. I can support a family now. I'm getting married in 2 months, and the lady I'm marrying has a couple kids. And I just feel like God was in that whole thing, and you were a big part of making that happen. And I certainly wasn't the only part of it, but was part of kind of pushing it along. So that happened. And then I also do a lot of what's called employee assistance work with people across the nation, where if there's a problem, a marital problem, I deal with suicidal employees, that kind of thing. Substance abuse problems, just a variety of different things. And I'd had somebody come to me and say, my child has some really serious health problems, and they're interrupting his school, and we don't know what to do. He's been home an awful lot. The doctor can't find out what's wrong with him. Now the school is saying that we're causing it. And it's like, okay. And it just didn't seem right. I know that some people do make their kids sick to get attention and that kind of thing, but it just didn't feel right with this case. They weren't asking for anything. They weren't really wanting attention. And I said, you really need to take this kid to a more specialized clinic. And they were able to get in with Mayo Clinic and then another clinic in Chicago. Their son's going to have some surgeries that were found. There was something wrong in his intestines and in his throat. And the dad came by and said, I just want to thank you because we would have given up without you saying, take that next step. You'll never regret just ruling out one more thing, or, especially when it comes to your kid not being able to attend college or have jobs after work, after school. So that was another indication. And both those things are rare. I mean, very rare. One of them was completely out of my area of expertise, the health issue, but it was just, man, I just think you really need to go check it out. So there were a couple other things, that were just unusual. And it all happened within a 2-week span of praying, God, show me the way. So I think I got a pretty clear indication that I need to work another couple years at least, get through this initiative that we're doing with our management staff and others. And all of us at our corporate office are going through the same thing that we're putting our managers through. We really want to do a better job for the people that we serve and have more of a service mentality. And it's something I've been pushing for years, to be quite honest, but not in a position where I can make things happen. So I'm gratified to see it happening. In the end, I was a little disappointed I wasn't going to have more time to fish and kind of do what I wanted to do. But, I do think this is what God wants me to do. So I am going to be backing off from the pastoral role for a little while. I wanted to tell everybody this myself rather than just let the word get around, because I don't know about you, but when things happen around me and I don't know why, I tend to speculate. And sometimes I speculate negative things. Well, it must be because of this or that. Well, it's not that I'm unhappy with anything here. In fact, as I said, that was actually my preference, was to be here more, my personal preference. And but that's not going to be what I do for the next year or two. And I will still continue to attend CrossRoads, but I won't be preaching and I won't be teaching a class in this fall. I don't know, after, maybe in the spring I will. Just don't know. I'll know more about what things are going to look like then. I also wanted to say, if you have questions about this, please ask. Don't be shy about asking me what's going on, because I'm pretty open to tell you about it. And I plan, hopefully, can be here most Sundays and still just be an active member and support Jesse and the other people who are doing great ministries here. So let me check and see if there's anything else I wanted to say. I guess not. But I want to thank you for your support for the years I have been an associate pastor. I know some of you have had nothing to do with anything I do, but and don't really know much about what all I do. But you've always been supportive, and I just really appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very meaningful, and I hope to be back to it at some point in the future. So, thank you.